Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I have an excellent attacking game to share with you. This was played in 2020, a rapid game between Liren on the white end and Daniil Dubov. All right, we have an English opening start. Only a 21 mover here, so something goes wrong shortly with white's play. Get the capture on c4. It'll be a mini battle that ensues over this square, this pawn. First it's castles, knight b d7. Some pressure on it, how to defend. Black goes with knight b6. If you defend with the pawn, you're asking for knight d4, unleashing two attackers on c6. It's piece support of c4, another piece attacking, defending, attacking, and where do we stand now? 3 attackers, 2 defenders on c4. Now, if black wants to support c4 for a third time, you could with queen d4, but at the same time you'd be asking for a tactic on c6. Knight takes c6, pawn takes, bishop takes c6 with a fork. Rook going down for the count. Not how black plays it. Black takes this as an opportunity to launch the h-pawn. Caveman-like attack that is attractive once the king-knight has drifted away from its control over h4. Now black is a moment away from engaging, and the structure is ready to be rattled on white's king side, and the rook, without moving, is ready to be activated. White regains the pawn, a pair of knights exchanged in the process. Black swings the bat completely around, h4 on board. Knight returns to a more active square, possible tricks in the air on c6. There are 3 attackers here, only 1 defender. First things first, capture here on g3, white recaptures, and now queen c8. Number 1 piece in the position, most important piece in the position, this one here. Without it, there's all sorts of mating ideas available to black. Right around the corner after queen c8, forming of this battery is bishop h3, essentially exchanging light square bishops. White gets out of that. Top move here, rook d1 is played. Now, if white captures here on c6, recapturing with the pawn, you would be losing. So what would you do here as black? Carry on with bishop to h3. If you're taking on this square, the queen recaptures, the rook is going to fall. Bishop h3, knight b4, it's calling this an even position, one where you even go for a queen exchange. You're in an ending, and despite being down the pawn, it's still calling it equal. Not how white plays it. White gets out of this possible exchange of the light square bishops. Bishop still lands there. Bishop f3, preserving that important piece. And now how to get more pieces in on this attack. g6, b4 squeezing the most out of that pawn move. Space, possible b5 break. Dark square bishops now competing along the same diagonal. From here, king f8. No need to castle, you're demoting the rook. We'll go against pretty much everything black has been doing thus far to activate this piece. You go uncastled, keep the rook right where it's at. In comes a4, knight h7. Evaluation right around here, it's calling it plus 0.5. White's follow-up from here seems very consistent. You've played b4, a4. You shoot for this minority attack. b5 is played in this position. Now how the computer wants to play it, it says put immediate pressure on this knight here, or give it some more defense, I should say. It's looking at queen c5 in this position. White goes with b5. In comes knight g5, still trying to track down this top piece. White's play from here, it's a blunder, this next move. Ends up capturing on c6. Now, the top move here, computer points out queen c3, definitely feels very awkward going into a pin, but there's some important role with the queen on c3 defending this f3 square, being in a spot to meet bishop captures knight with the queen recapture on e5. White takes here on c6. Now, there's another important move to touch on here first. If white in this position tries to get out of this capture with bishop to h1, there would be a star move available to black here, a winning move with bishop to f1. This is an important move to be familiar with when you have this open file and this queen looking to next sweep into h3. This is a winning idea, would be a winning idea for black. What do you do here? If you take with the rook, queen h3 would now be that much more powerful. There's now two mate in one threats, queen h2 or queen captures bishop. There's not a solve here for white. Also, taking the bishop with the king, you're running into a checkmate in 2. So we do not see, in response to knight g5, we do not see bishop h1. It's the capture here on c6, and this is now winning for black. Let me throw this position to you as a pop quiz. What move would you play here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, there is only one winning way. Move played here, bishop captures knight. Move order is important. Bishop captures knight, and only then knight captures bishop with check. These are not interchangeable. Let me touch on why that's the case. If black first captures here on f3, white could recapture with a pawn. And now, after bishop captures knight, there is a save available to white with queen to e4. Rather than capturing the bishop here, queen e4 sets up a very dangerous move, this follow-up capture here on b7, and the queen is also ready to recapture the bishop rather than bishop captures bishop. The queen also from this post is defending an important kingside square. I'll touch on that in a little bit from now. This would be a saving resource, this timely queen e4 move here. Okay, move order, important. The way this one plays out is with bishop captures knight. There's no ignoring the recapture here on e5 at this stage. No queen e4 with the knight still around. White captures here on e5. No fancy in-betweeners for white in this position. Keep in mind. This here may be tempting at first glance, but that would be shot down with knight captures f3 check, removing the defender of b7, and now black is up a piece. And there wouldn't be time to recapture it. Bishop takes bishop, you would be getting mated on g2. So, white responds here to the capture on e5, the capture of the knight, with bishop captures bishop. Only now do we see knight captures bishop check, pawn recaptures. One more pop quiz. What move would you play here? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, final move here, a beautiful touch. Bishop g2, white resigns. It's a mating attack, and white cannot defend against it. These three pieces will be enough to weave the mate. Black has an answer to everything white may throw his way. Now, before I look more thoroughly at this final position, touching on the different tries available to white, let me revert back to this move order detail right here and emphasize the importance of first capturing with the bishop rather than the knight. Capturing with the knight first, and then the bishop is not working because of queen e4. I purposely did not touch on what defensive role this queen has on e4 at the time. I didn't want to ruin my future pop quiz. In this position here with the queen on e4, if black tries bishop g2, g4 would be a resource, an only way to defend against these mating ideas. With the queen on e4, what is she doing? She's preventing this follow-up bishop f3 move, which would be devastating, setting up rook h1 mate. Okay, let's look at this final position in the game. This point right here, and see exactly why white resigned. What are white's tries from here? Well, let's touch on this one first. With the queen ready to sweep in on h3 right away, or maybe after first a check on h1, if white tries g4 here, that's shot down. There we go. The bishop can successfully take on f3. The queen is out of position. Mate threat here on h1. Queen ready to sweep in on g4, g2. On these light squares one way or another. That's crushing for black. What other try does white have here? Let's say you collect the bishop. That's not going to work. Queen h3 check. Queen h1 mate. Anything else? Yep. Let's test out this one here. Suppose the rook is captured. Well, these two will be enough to weave the mate. There is no solve to queen h1 mate because of these pawns being doubled. In fact, if this pawn on f2 could take a step up, the king's ready to run. Not available here. And one final move to touch on. Again, black has an answer to everything white throws his way. The final one to touch on here is what's happening after this capture on b7. Okay, we have to play in a forceful way here. Queen h3, not forceful enough. White, in fact, would be there first, taking the rook, getting a queen, delivering the mate shortly. The answer to this move, rook h1, check, and queen h3 for mate. This was a beautiful game. Very rare. I know it's only rapid, but very rare to see a player of Liren's caliber go down with the white pieces in only 21 moves. Anyhow, what are your thoughts on this one? Feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.